Greetings and welcome to another edition of Pirate Parents Live. This is the series where we bring you information and resources so that you have what you need to support your student here at ECU. My name is Carter Fenwick. I'm the Director of Parent and Family Programs here at ECU, and today we are going to talk about student engagement, students getting engaged, why it's important, and some of the fun activities students can take a part of. With me today is Hank, the Associate Director of Student Engagement here at ECU. He's my expert on the subject, so he is, I don't know, the captain of fun, I like to think, on campus. So do you mind just going ahead and jumping right in, Hank?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are with student engagement, and really what we do is provide opportunities for students to get involved on campus, to have some things to do. So there are fun ways they connect with each other and with our campus resources.
And, you know, this is I would say a resource on campus for students. But can you talk about why we are really adamant about students getting involved on campus?
Yeah, absolutely. We know from decades of research that students that are involved on campus, whether that be in some kind of club or organization, something outside the classroom, if it's an on-campus job, they are more likely to be successful. They manage their time better. They belong more. They feel like they are more connected with each other. Their mental health improves. And so being a part of something, whether that is an organization related to their major, or it's their hall council in the residence halls, or that is doing maybe undergraduate research, something that gets them to apply that in class knowledge to something outside the class really helps them meet people and just feel more like they are part of the ECU community.
Yeah, which is we want them to build that community here. We don't want them to not have that sense of belonging feeling.
Yeah, it's so super important. We know we see all the time students to just say, the classes are great, but there's so much more from this. Part of it is their age group, and part of it is just being away from home, um, finding some people that they connect with, finding something they enjoy. We know there's a lot of work that goes into belonging, and students feel like they belong here on campus because of the things that we offer. And so there's a big draw to having something to go to.
Oh, yeah. So for students, or we're sharing with families, what can you share of how students can get connected while at ECU?
Sometimes I feel like I don't know how students don't get connected. They really just, if you walk out of your room, there are so many things right in front of you. We know that the opportunities are there. How do we get students to go? We really don't give them much choice to get connected with some of these things. When they walk out the door, there are going to be opportunities. There are a lot of academic departments that are throwing welcome back events, and so when they're walking in classes, they're just going to see a lot of us out. First days of classes, we're just gonna be there. They're gonna have things they can get involved with. I know there are some colleges doing some ice cream socials right out in the yard. There's going to be a lot of us doing involvement fairs, places where they can take pictures. They can't miss it. And so um, the best way is just when you see those things, give it a try. You don't have to love everything, and you may find something and see it and just, this is not for me, it ends up being, but go and give it a try. But really, they can't miss it. We're going to put the things where students are. We're not expecting students to come to us because that's just a lot. For you don't even know where you're going. I know when I was in school, the first couple weeks were really just trying to figure out. I don't know where I'm going. I don't even know how to get to my classes. I don't know how to get back to my residence hall barely, and so we're going to be out there, and we're just gonna take care of them. And so um, certainly, check out the Pirate Experience. I think students that came to orientation saw the Pirate Experience. They saw the app for the schedule, but that same app will get you to all the campus events and all the involvement opportunities. But just when you go out and you see things, when you see people at a table that looks interesting to you, go and try it. Give it a shot, and just go from there.
And I love that you mentioned of just get out. I think that's like our biggest, and we do have kind of pieces of advice later, and it's just encourage your student to get out of their residence hall room, get out of their room. It can be really nerve wracking and scary to walk around on a college campus, especially if you don't know anyone else. But just take that step and just walk out because there are so many opportunities just out,
Yeah.
out and about.
Even within your residence hall, your RAs, your hall coordinators are doing programming, they're doing events. And so within your hall, going out and talking to people that live next door to you. I think you have this built-in community in your residence halls where, yes, we want you to come out to events all across campus, but that's a starting point. Get to know the people next door to you, talk to your roommates. When your RA invites everybody to come to dinner together, you've got to go eat. So when you're invited, go do that.
Yeah, yeah. So w- we do, I mean, well, your team and the university hosts some pretty exciting events right out the gate of, this first few days of students moving in. So what are those first things that students can participate in once they're here at ECU?
Yeah, so we're gonna have a few things during that move-in week. You'll see a lot of us out helping move in, and we'll be moving boxes and helping you into the residence halls. There'll be some smaller things during that week of kind of Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday night we really hit the big program. And so Friday night you'll see Raid the Rec in the Aiken Student Recreation Center. They will have opportunities to connect with the rec center and really just meet a lot of people. There'll be free food and T-shirts. Saturday night we have Pirate Palooza that will be here in the main campus student center. There are inflatables and rides and food and T-shirts and games, and really you'll see thousands of students coming in and out of those events where you will get a chance to just um, see what's out there and see who's here. And then Sunday going into the new student welcome where there is the kind of class photo. You'll get to it's almost like a beginning of your college career. Think where commencement and graduation is the end, the new student welcome is kind of that formal beginning where you go in and it's not a ceremony, but it is more of a structured thing where you get to go and see all of the first year students. And that really hits that weekend of I'm not here alone. We've moved in, parents have gone, especially if you move in early in the week and you kind of get settled and it's okay, it's the first weekend. I don't know what to do or where to go. And so we're going to provide those opportunities for big events. Then when you get into kind of those first weeks of classes, there's still going to be lots of things to do. For anybody interested in joining a fraternity and sorority, at any point, we're going to have Greek Fest on the first day of classes outside the Student Center where you can go and meet all of our chapters. We've got 4 Greek councils, and you can meet all those folks from the different chapters. We will have the second week of classes, our annual Get a Clue involvement fair. So the second week of classes, the Wednesday in there, we always have Get a Clue, and that's on the campus mall. You'll have hundreds of tables out there with student organizations that you can join. You'll see community partners that are looking for volunteers. And so especially if you are somebody that really wants to go out and do a community service, or you're looking at maybe a major or a grad program eventually that needs you to have some service hours, there's going to be community partners out there that are looking for volunteers. There are going to be local businesses that are recruiting for people to shop there, but also they're going to be recruiting employees. So if you're looking for something to get involved with out in the community, there's folks going to be there as well. But that's really a chance to really sort of find, okay, I have gotten here, I've moved in, I've settled, I've met a few people, I know where to get a little bit. Now I need to start getting involved. What am I going to do with my time? And so Get a Clue is really your big opportunity to meet clubs that are really all right. Now we are here. Semester started. We're really ready to recruit folks, and so Get a Clue is there. And the week after that, you'll start to get for folks who want to work on campus. Your on campus job fair is going to be here. You really look at much of our campus; it's run on students doing a lot of the work, and so especially in our division in student affairs. There's a lot of things that are done by students that you really wouldn't think of, but in the rec center, the folks that do the weight room and the intramural officials and people that drive the buses and most of us at the front desks in our office, there's student workers there. Really just there's so many opportunities to get involved on campus in a job if that's what you're looking for. And so you'll get a chance to do, some of that searching as well.
Hmm. Which I love that you mentioned Get a Clue, because my next question for you is how can students get involved in a specific student organization or student group? How do they do that research? How do they reach out? How do they find them?
Yeah, go to Get a Clue. We're going to give out cards that Get a Clue that students can use, and so they may have seen if you were here for orientation, you saw the involvement fair, you may have used one of these cards. We're going to have cards for the students. Certainly, the organizations are going to collect information about interested students, but we're going to give you information that you can go and interview those tables and find out what is this club, what does it do, when does it meet, who can I contact. We don't just put that on the student group to reach back out to me. But if I really am interested in this, just who do I look for this? Um, you can go on the Pirate Experience and you can see all those clubs and you can see what they do a little bit and how to contact them, but really nothing beats that face-to-face interaction for a lot of our on-campus students. And so, Get a Clue is the best way. Go out there, and they are looking. Involvement is at an all-time high. People are looking for things to get involved with. Our organizations. We are over 400 organizations on campus. Everything from academic majors. And so, if you're looking for, we always say get involved in something at the very least with your major, because those faculty members that advise those clubs are the most connected with industry partners. They know where jobs are eventually, and they know where scholarships are. Um, but you will see those folks, if you know that you're going to go to a grad program or some kind of specialty, whatever it is, there are clubs for, pre-dental and pre-medicine and pre-anything. And so you'll find those clubs, but you'll also see things for hobbies and anything you were in high school. We've usually got here. You will see cultural groups and religious groups and just the fun things, fraternities and club sports. And Get a Clue is your first chance to really get in there and say, hey, I want to join this club.
Oh, yeah. And those students who are, at the tables in those, currently in those organizations who are recruiting for new students to join, they're so excited. Like they want to meet you, they want to talk to you, they want to talk about, specifically, their passions. If you have a student who is into crocheting or knitting, I'm sure there's a student organization about that. And so, those students are like, yes, we want to talk about this with other people. We want to help others because again, they see the benefit of building that community and finding their people here at ECU, and so they want to help others do that as well. So it's definitely so fun to see it happen out there every year.
It is great, and we've been doing it for decades. And it's one of those things where you really feel this magic in the air of you'll see thousands of students come throughout that day, and it's just a 3-hour event. And so you'll see um, all those tables full of people, and you use the word passion. They are so passionate about what they do, and it takes a lot of work sometimes to do these student organizations. They put a lot into it because they love it. They think it's important. Some of them are based around community initiatives, and so you see so many student organizations that are doing amazing service out with our partners in the community in Greenville and Pitt County and beyond. So groups that want to do, students that want to go to dental school, they're not just sitting there going, all right, we want to go to dental school. They are out and they are doing clinics, and they're partnering with dentists, and they are providing care for folks, school students locally that don't have access to that. You see student groups who are really passionate about mental health, and they are out and they're providing clinics and they're providing resources and they're volunteering at places. And so it's just great to see that it's not just some people sitting around. They are really passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah, they're not sitting around just talking about it. They are doing it. They are in action for, yeah, especially a lot of those service organizations. They are in action and they're doing it, which is awesome.
They are. And then when you go to get a job eventually, you can tell employers, okay, I was on the roster somewhere, but you also have the opportunity to tell them, we I was in this club where we managed this many members and we did this kind of fundraising. There are so many things that you can show for that with that involvement, and that's what we just think is so important for them. It really is not just for their benefit while they're here, but for the next step after college. Those student organizations really do make them more hireable. It does. It furthers some of those really important skills for them.
Oh yeah, those skills that they learn, outside the classroom, but in a student organization is invaluable for sure. So my next question is specifically about fraternities and sororities, just because so many students know about fraternities and sororities and have an interest in that. And since that recruitment process is very specific. So can you talk through how students can learn more about fraternities and sororities and what that process looks like?
Definitely, especially if you're on social media, following the Fraternity Sorority Life office on something like Instagram, because there are 4 councils. They do recruitment a little bit differently. If you're interested in the Panhellenic sorority, for example, they're going to start really on week 1 of classes and doing that recruitment process. That's a very in-depth and structured process that'll start the middle of week 1, and it'll go through that first week and weekend. Um, If you are looking at an IFC fraternity, that will start into September 7th, kind of in the couple weeks have passed and you get a little more settled for those fraternities. But in that same week there, you'll start to look at your Multicultural Greek Council and your National Panhellenic Council. So your NPHC groups will have something called Meet the Greeks, where you can come and meet their chapters. Multicultural Greek Council will have their invitational that week as well. And so really following them on their social media pages, because we support them as best we can as the university, but they really, again, that's a student leadership opportunity where they run that process and they do that structure. And so if you're interested in Panhellenic, follow NECU Panhellenic on Instagram, and then Interfraternity Council as well on there. But following the fsl.ecu.edu website, following the FSL on Instagram is really the best way to see that. And then if you're not sure, you hear all these terms, and if you're not familiar, I know fraternities, but I don't know what any of that means. Come out to Greek Fest on day one of classes, and they'll tell you about what that is. They'll help you, and you'll kind of start to see what the different chapters are, and what the different councils are. And they're really based on different historical backgrounds that are open to anybody now, but you'll start to meet all those folks and say, okay, this is what I think I'm interested in. But you don't know until you kind of come and see it. So come out to Greek Fest. Most of them, a lot of will be at it, get a clue as well. But really just following them and seeing what they have to offer.
Yeah, and it is great because it is, again, it's that in-person interaction. It is asking questions, but also just kind of getting a feel for, like you said, is this for me? Is this not for me? Is this what I'm interested in? Is it not? And doing that in person, a lot of this information is online, but having that in-person interaction is really valuable and important. Um, okay, next, I want to talk about, we talked about those opening kind of week and weeks events. But what is some advice? This is for parents and families who, this may be their first student in college, and they're not sure how to kind of navigate this environment. So what advice can we give them that maybe they can share with their students, or kind of help guide their students through just like getting engaged on campus? What advice do you like to give?
Um, but look for the things that you like. Don't be afraid to decide this is not for me. Maybe you were in something for your first year and you decided, I don't really love this group. I think I've outgrown this. This isn't really what I thought it was going to be. Don't get so attached to something that you feel like you're obligated to stay in it. Try a couple things out. Go to some meetings. You're under no obligation to join something permanently. For most of our clubs, when you go in and you try it out, and that's one of the great things about the fraternity sorority search, is that you do get a chance to try them out. You're not going in looking at one and saying this is mine forever. You're getting to meet all those folks. With other organizations and other evolving opportunities, kind of treat it the same way. Try a couple of things out, get to know them a little bit, and then decide this is maybe more suited for what I'm looking for. I think for parents and families, just being there as a sounding board, to talk through. If your student calls and here's some options that I've looked at, here's some things that I've found. What do you think about this? Do you know anything about this and what they're doing? Really just being there to listen and kind of throw ideas off of.
Yeah, yeah, and my advice is always, just encourage your student to get out of their room, and just again, it is, there are lots of nerves involved with coming to college and meeting new people that can be really intimidating, especially if you come from, if your student was in the same class from like kindergarten to graduation. Meeting new people is very intimidating, but just getting out there and doing it. Like I think our students are, especially during this time, really excited to be back on campus. Energy is really high, especially when it comes to student organizations. Like they want to meet your student and see if they're interested. And so just encourage them to get out. And even if that's just walking around and looking, that's great. That's still a step in the right direction of getting involved. And then also, don't hesitate to attend events. We talked a lot about student organizations, but Hank did mention a lot of events that are going on campus. So if you see a table that is handing out ice cream, go get you some ice cream. Like by all means, just go walk up and be like, "Hey, what's this?" And then, and that's a great way of, again, meeting people and learning more.
Yeah. And you said it, that they want your students to be there. We want them to come to the events. I think it is scary when you're coming in, and I was from a small place, and this is so overwhelming for so many people to be here. But those clubs want your students to join. We want them to come to the events, and so just to encourage them and reassure them. People do, they want you to be there. They want you to come and do all these things. And that's why we offer that. And so we want them to come. If you see the people giving out ice cream, they want you to be there. That's why it's there. You're not a burden to them. It's not. That's what we're doing it for. And so there are so many events. There's so many things we try. I know just in our group. So within the student activities board, it's that group that is students that plan all the fun things on campus. Just in the first month alone, we've got bingo night and a paint night. We're doing a game show night. So if you've ever seen like the Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader show, we're doing our version of that. We'll do lots of craft things. We will do, we're doing a build your own Lego figure, within that first month. So you'll see so many things just out. If it's something, this is your opportunity to try some stuff that maybe you've not seen before. Try it. Go and see. You may not like it, and that's fine. But the point is not as much the activity as much as it is the connection with other students and with campus.
Yes, yes, and you hit the nail on the head. So we covered a lot of information, a lot of events and just student organizations and things like that. But your student can find all of these events and all of these student organizations on the Pirate Experience, which is a website. So it's literally just thepirateexperience.com.
The pirateexperience.ecu.edu, and that will take they just log in as a student with their regular username and password. If you join a group, it'll show there what you joined. You'll see those organizations. You can request to join them or more information. They'll follow it with you. But you'll see all the events. Our campus departments put their events up there. Student organizations put events up there. That really is your best way to kind of see what is happening on campus that I may be interested in.
Yep. So encourage your student to go to the Pirate Experience. And then like Hank said, this is also the app that they used during new student orientation for our new students. So encourage them to go there, check it out. And then, you can go and check it out and, poke around and see, send your students some stuff. We share a lot of events on the parent and family portal. So as you see things, encourage your student to attend. But we are very, very excited to have, your students, come in here in the fall, whether they're returning or new students. We're excited to welcome them back, and we have plans for them.
Yes, absolutely. And you're right. Not just our first year students, but all of our students. For those of us who are here year round, the campus is lonely in the summer. And so we're really excited to have everybody come back. So those of you who have been here before and parents that know a little bit about what we have and have students coming back, we're just as excited to have those returning students as we are the new students. And so it's going to be great.
It's going to be great. So yeah, so just remember the Pirate Experience, and that's where you get all the information. So yeah, so thanks for tuning in, and we can't wait to see your students in the fall.